Hello and welcome to Ryan Watches Movie. My name's Adam Patterson. With me today, we've got Kevin Rakestraw. Hey, Kevin.
Hey.
I'm also joined by Ryan Holes. Hey, Ryan.
Hello.
If this is your first time tuning in, Kevin and I are challenging ourselves to find movies that Ryan likes in the hopes that we'll reach a coveted 10 out of 10. You can join in on the conversation by sending your movie suggestions for Ryan to podcast@filmpulse.net or by sending me a DM on Twitter @filmpulsenet. If you like the show, or even if you don't, please consider checking out the Frederick's Ataxia Research Alliance website at curefa.org. Again, that is curefa.org. Ryan, what do we have you watch this week?
MacGruber.
MacGruber. Now, last week, at the end of the show, we discussed what you were in the mood for. You said comedy, I think, or you were just like, I don't care. And we decided that we were going to try to find you an action comedy, and out of nowhere, Kevin is like MacGruber, and I was like, he saw this for sure. And we had this back and forth about it. We looked at your Letterboxd, and we were like, oh, it's not on his Letterboxd, but this came out in 2010, so that was before Letterboxd was around. And so then I just straight up asked you if you saw it before, and you said no. So here we are, MacGruber. This is direct.
It blows my mind. This is a movie that I've always wanted to throw out there, but I've never done it because I'm like, there's no way he didn't see this movie.
I'm shocked. So this is directed by Jorma Taccone. I have a synopsis here. Former special operative MacGruber is called back into action to take down his arch enemy, Dieter von Kunth, who's in possession of a nuclear warhead and bent on destroying Washington, D.C. Ryan, tell us a little bit about MacGruber.
Well, in the beginning, you find out that he's supposed to get married. And at his wedding, this bell killer pretty much blows up his wedding. And he kills the lady he's marrying. And it goes into pretty much hiding. And the government comes after him and convinces him to come out of hiding. And he tries to build a team to go after Val Kilmer. And her team is in a van. And it blows up. And then he's left with, I can't think, Kristen Wiig and Brad Phillippe. And by the way, he doesn't like Brad Phillippe. And basically, the whole movie talks shit to him. And they have many disagreements. And they end up going after this Falconer, and eventually they catch up to him when he's about to shoot a rocket on nuclear warhead. And I was gonna tell you what happens, but it kind of runs it, and this is already short. So they catch up to him, and you have to watch it to find out if everyone lives happily ever after.
Cool, he doesn't want to spoil it.
There's many subtleties that happen throughout the movie. And if I try to explain them, we'd be here for hours. And they probably wouldn't make much sense unless you see them happen.
Gotcha. So that would be fun.
And they're all pretty hilarious. As a matter of fact, who read this movie?
Will Forte, John Solomon, and Jorma Taccone.
I gotta say they're goddamn geniuses. like every time you think you're done laughing, there's something else that gets you.
Fucking non-stop rapid fire. Relentless.
And it's their own culture. They're not like dumb jokes that are just told. Like they secretly go with the story. Like somehow they all tie into the story. And there's also an incredible sex scene that made me almost fall out of my wheelchair. Like when I say sexy, like it's basically the epitome of like any movie sex scene, but like more exaggerated.
Yeah, the sound editing on that, especially with the music.
Oh yeah.
I mean, it's got to be the funniest sex scene I've ever seen in my life.
I
had to pause the movie. I had to stop it. I couldn't take it.
I 100% agree. It's so, and then the funny thing is that they doubled down on it, because right after the sex scene with Kristen Wiig, there's another sex scene with Maya Rudolph where he's having sex with his ghost wife.
Yeah, that's the best part. It's not only do they double down, but they double down but make it ghost sex.
Yeah. It's
and
so
right
funny.
before that, Kristen Wiig had taken the bullet out of him, and like he has the pliers just laying inside his leg.
Yeah.
And he's not reacting at all. I have no idea how any of them kept a straight face at all.
I mean, something tells me that they had to do just a million takes for every scene in this movie, because I agree with you 100%, Ryan. I think that this movie is almost nonstop funny. You know, we talk a lot about action comedies and how too often they favor action over comedy, especially in the final act, and this is definitely an exception to that, where this is just straight comedy nonstop throughout. It's so funny. So I take it that you were pleased with this movie.
I was.
You
I'm also curious how much money did this make?
how much money did it make? Let's see.
Million.
It made 9.3 million. That's the cumulative worldwide gross. So it actually it lost money.
That's awful.
Yeah, it lost money. Had a budget of 10 million, and I you know, that this is, I think that this is, if it isn't considered a cult classic yet, it will be. It'll be considered a cult classic at some point.
Do you think it just didn't make money because of the rating?
No,
Like all the swear words flying, or?
I don't think so. I think that it was just, it's just one of those movies that I think, when maybe the marketing made it look stupid and people just didn't see it because they thought it was going to be dumb. And
well, I think also too, like when this came out, I think like the actual skit from SNL, I don't think it was that big of a skit.
no, I mean,
I think a lot of people were kind of like, "What the fuck are you doing?"
Yeah,
like Will Forte wasn't a name,
right? I think that, yes, I think you're right, Kevin. Like the sketch in SNL, it was one note, right? It did every time. It was the same, pretty much the same sketch over and over again, where it was this kind of MacGyver spoof, and at the end he blows up because of his incompetence. And so I think you're right. Taking that sketch, which is, there's not a lot going on in that sketch, is very surface level, and expanding that into an entire, like a feature length film, it doesn't seem like it would necessarily work. And you also look at SNL movies, and historically SNL movies do very poorly at the box office, and most SNL movies, I think maybe with the exception of Wayne's World, are bad. Like they're just not very good. So I think it had a lot going against it from the beginning. But I remember I saw this in the theater and I thought it was absolutely hilarious. And like I was so glad that Kevin suggested this because it gave me an excuse to rewatch it after all these years. And I still was just
one of
laughing.
the reasons that I picked this is because I've never seen it and I've wanted to.
Oh, so this
was an excuse for me to watch it.
Oh
really.
My God.
Fuck you, Ryan. This wasn't about you. This was about me.
Okay. I didn't know that this was a first time watch for you, Kevin. So what did you think of it?
I thought it was pretty good. I mean, again, I'll reiterate, it's got to be the funniest sex scenes I've ever seen in a movie. It's just absolutely ridiculous. I love the bit of the detachable head unit.
Oh my God, yes.
There's that bit the whole way through.
The ongoing
him with the other guy and his license plate number and how that's a whole bit.
Mm-hmm.
The only thing that I was kind of surprised about, because like you said, the SNL skit is pretty one note, right? And it's just a spoof on MacGyver. And this movie does feel like it's not really MacGruber. Because, like, MacGruber, the skit is, like, he's just incompetent, he can't make a thing, he blows up and he dies, right? But here, like, he's, like, a super fucking dick, and he's, like, extremely homophobic, and it's just kind of weird how they kind of, that's how they decided to flesh out the character.
Yeah, so not only is he incompetent, but he's also kind of an ass in this.
Yeah, he's, like, a huge dick.
And he blows all its cover. Like he blatantly blows all his cover.
Yeah, I mean, I love his plans though. Just all the various plans that he comes up with. Like the first one having Kristen Wiig's character dress up as him, and then in the second one have Ryan Phillippe dress up as him for no reason. I love that. But they had to give him an arc, so he starts off as a dick, but he comes around a little bit. He learns. There's lessons.
I also enjoyed the scene when Kristen Wiig is in the coffee shop and she's like there in her ear.
Mm-hmm. They're getting shot. And
she's freaking out. But no one knows why.
I think there's a lot of like funny one-liners and stuff like that in this. I think maybe the one there's so many, but the one that always sticks out to me is when he kills the one henchman with the van in that scene, the shootout scene, and he goes, "Hossbender, dead at the age of who gives a fuck."
This is like kind of what SNL should be, I guess I'll say. I don't know if I'm saying that right, but like, I don't know, it's just...
This was during a really high point for SNL. This was during a really good cast, and I think...
Yeah. But it was still that thing where, even though it was a high point, like Will Forte wasn't like one of the names, you know what I mean? Like he wasn't in a ton of skits.
I feel like this was really what gave him his style. Like I feel like this movie is allowed him to really tap into what makes him funny. Because if you look at this and then you look at Last Man on Earth, his character in this is very similar to his character in Last Man on Earth. And I think that that's really where he excels with his different characters, and it's just he's so funny.
His line delivery, is it's impeccable.
Oh yeah,
I love when he's like at the end when he opens up the warhead, he sees all the wires.
Yeah,
it's just like what the fuck is this?
Yeah. I think that's
more of like a 3-wire guy.
I mean, certainly this movie is a lot edgier than what you would see on SNL. I mean, it is rated R, so they swear a lot more. They can get away with a lot more. And then there's more gross out gags too, more sexual gags and stuff like the celery in the butt stuff.
That was hilarious.
I kind of thought that you would like that gag.
I do like when he bites it and they're like, ew, and he's like, I washed it.
And then he mouths, no, I didn't. Yeah, I really enjoy this movie, and I hope that it becomes a bit of a cult classic if it's not already. And I think that you can say the same thing about Pop Star, Never Stop, Never Stopping, which was another movie directed by Jorma Taccone. Like, that movie didn't do well at all either, and I think that movie is as funny as this.
Ryan saw that one, right? Because I keep suggesting that mostly because I want to see it.
Yeah, I enjoyed that movie also.
That movie is hilarious.
I don't know. I don't just watch these movies on my own. Just like, damn it, Ryan saw it. I'll never get to see it.
You need an excuse. Yeah, it's unfortunate. Pop Star was not successful either, which is just a shame.
Which is wild because pretty much anything that I've ever seen, anytime someone talks about Pop Star, is how great it is.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I remember seeing that in the theater too and finding it to be, I was just laughing nonstop, and there's not too many comedies these days that have me laughing as much as that movie. And that's a weird one too, because that's when that movie came out in 2016, Lonely Island was like very popular. They were like almost a household name at that point. Everybody loved the Lonely Island stuff. So it's strange that was not more successful.
Yeah.
Also, really enjoyed the scene at the beginning while the wrestlers were in the band.
Yeah.
And it blew up, and it was like, oh my God, it's a run death.
Yeah. No.
His voice.
Yeah.
The way he reacts. And I loved it at the end too when Val Kilmer was like, I had a team too, and they were in a band and it blew up. Like, oh my God, really?
Kristen Wiig really makes me laugh a lot.
Yeah, she's great in this.
Her ability to keep a straight face is pretty clutch because she says some ridiculous things.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and you have Ryan Phillippe in this, who is playing one of the straight men who's reacting off of all this ridiculous stuff. And I think that he does a really good job as the straight man too, because he's really funny and his reactions are really good in this. And Powers Booth in there too as the Colonel. Good cast, solid cast. So yeah,
Val Kilmer is a bad guy. That's pretty clutch too.
He's funny. Yeah, he's really funny in this. You'll be happy to know, Ryan, that they are working on a MacGruber too. So that is,
oh my goodness,
that is on the horizon. I don't know when. And I mean, now that with the pandemic, I'm sure that everything is just screwed up as far as productions. But this was.
I hope they don't just make it purely to make money. Like, I hope it's actually good, like this one.
Well, Jordan,
they didn't make money the first time. So.
No, I know.
I don't care if the cash grab.
Yeah, I can't imagine that they would just be like, let's just make some money. Jorma Taccone is writing and directing the MacGruber 2. So it's the same crew coming back. And it looks like Will Forte's writing is also working on the script for it. So I think it'll be fine. I think it'll be good. It'll be funny. Anything else to add about MacGruber before we give you your drum roll on this?
No.
Okay.
I have a question. What was the funniest thing for you, Ryan?
Oh my God. I was proud of this section. Just then, like, I know before it happened, I could tell it was coming. I was like, man, this is gonna be ridiculous. But it was a lot better than I thought it would be.
so perfect the way they just cut out the music.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It's just like, oh, this is just a stupid spoof.
Oh, yeah. All right, Ryan, what do you give MacGruber?
10.
10 out of 10. Yes. Yes.
God damn, is that back, or was there a 9 in between?
There was a 9 in between.
God damn it.
There was a 9 in between. So last week was Train to Busan, I believe. That was a 9.
Why didn't you like Train to Busan more, Ryan? Some bitch.
Still though, I
We
mean,
got a turkey. We could have got a turkey.
yeah, this is still great though, because I mean we got 10, 9, 10. That's really good.
These last few weeks were more entertaining than watching the president talk about drinking cleaner.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Certainly. So what are you in the mood for next time we meet?
Let's go straight up back.
Straight up action. All right.
I ain't fucking around with that comedy anymore.
Time to get serious.
Bodies.
Time to get serious.
bullets through faces. Was the throat ripping? Did that give you that little bit of a taste? Did that kick off the sadistic part of your brain? And you're like, I want to see some more throat ripping. I want to see some nasty shit.
Yeah. The throat ripping was good. And how he kept asking, like, I need one more. I'm like, yeah, turkey and throat ripping.
Yeah, I love this scene when he does the third throat rip, and Ryan Phillippe's like, go ahead. So good. Okay, I think that's going to close it out for this week. Thank you so much for listening. You can send us your picks for Ryan to podcast@filmpulse.net. You can follow us on Twitter @filmpulsenet, @filmpulsekevin, and @mylegsdon'twork. If you have a minute, consider reviewing us on your podcast platform of choice. For Kevin Rakestraw and Ryan Holes, my name's Adam Patterson. We'll see you next week.
Don't drink cleaner. See you later.